Well, I'll just start with something here. We're excited to finally get going and let these games count for real. We've been undefeated long enough. Hopefully we can keep it going, obviously, for as long as we can. But I think the guys are itching for a game. They're itching to compete. And I know that I am too. So with that, I'll take any questions.
What's the injury report looking like?
I would expect that, Glenn and Isaiah Roby have injuries that will go away, in time. Now, we're going to have to manage Anton. There's no doubt about it. The injury was just too severe. It's not one of those things you just expect to disappear. Certainly, it could get better and better and better, but, throughout our immediate season here, that's something we're going to have to deal with. So we could have him for a while, and then if he takes a step backwards in terms of soreness or whatever, he might have to rest.
So are any and all those guys going to play Saturday?
I expect them to. I'm still a few practices away from that. Knock on wood, anything can happen in a practice.
Did you get your 2 letters of intent?
Got one, yeah. Xavier Johnson. Absolutely, yeah. I'm thrilled to have Xavier join us. He's one of those guys that he's as fast a guard as there is in the country. And it was a good point guard year. I think that he would be higher ranked and rated. It hadn't been such a deep year throughout college or throughout high school basketball. But that's fine by me. He uses screen and roll well. He delivers the ball in tight spaces really well. Very, very good defender. Highly competitive. Just highly competitive. And then, so let's look at his he's well coached with Coach Wooten, where it's got pretty good bloodlines there at Bishop O'Connell, and then Team Takeover in the Mid-Atlantic is one of the nation's best AAU programs. And Keith Stevens and his group do a great job. And when you look at guys like Palmer who've been through there, Evan Taylor's been through there, these are guys that are really key pieces to what we're doing in our success. And I would expect Xavier's right in the middle of that. They went to the championship at the Peach Jam, lost. They went to, and they won the 8, which is an invite-only thing with the EYBL in Las Vegas. And so that's a highlight. That's not your normal high school AAU basketball. That's those. He's going against guys that will be in college one year and in the NBA the next. So that's pretty good performance.
From talking to him, strikes me as a guy that knows what his role will be, at least in year one, as a true point guard, facilitator, and on-ball defender. Does that open the window for an opportunity to play right away?
He'll play right away. I don't think there's any doubt about it. I think we can play he and Thomas. Thomas is fine with the ball, and he can play the point. He's more of a scoring guard, as we saw the other night. Those two, even though they're both small, and even Glenn in there, you've got to use that quickness. I know there's guys. Kevin Ali won a national championship, and with 2 small guards. I'm not freaked out about playing small guards. Ty Lue told me I couldn't be either. He said he loves small guards. I said, are you sure? It's about 2 years ago. And he goes, look at me. And I said, oh, yeah, I forgot about you.
Did you get on to him just kind of through your normal connections back there, or was there any?
It was funny. Kenya and Ali, a year ago, Kenya went out to watch him, and Ali was watching him, and Kenya's like, Coach, there's something about this kid, man. And he doesn't have great shooting range. He doesn't take many threes because, he peppers the target. Like if he was shooting a BB gun at a target, he'd be on the bullseye, which is the rim, all day. And so he ends up at the free throw line all day. And I love those guys. He just lives at the front of the rim. And that's anytime you get those paint guards like that can push the ball quickly, play off screen and roll, creative enough to get to the rim, you're excited. Ali loved him. Kenya loved him, got to know the whole situation and really was the lead guy in that thing. And then we got rid of Ali and sent him down to AAA over at Drake and went from there. So.
Your other verbal commit signed his letter of intent. It's just a matter of receiving it?
I believe it's in the mail.
Have to walk it over here?
Yeah, I have no comment. I'm not going to upset anybody, all right? Yeah, there's a lot of things, but it's just the way it is. It's too bad I can't talk about it. I will next week.
So what are you going to look for in the spring?
Well, athleticism inside, no doubt. I think that we're going to lose some size and athleticism, and that's something that we really need. Always looking for more shooting. Yeah, right now. Yeah, looks like it maybe.
College basketball.
I don't count until they tell me to stop.
With the situation in college basketball with the
Yeah, it's weird. It's
unknowns,
nuts, isn't it?
do
I mean, no,
you-
it's really crazy now. I'm not joking either. It's crazy.
do you maybe hold off on rushing to fill spots with the thought that
That's one
maybe-
train of thought that's been brought up to me. I just know that I know what's out there right now. I know we need to wait.
How open are you being with red shirts with injury like Anton's?
I have talked to both young guys who have indicated to me they want to play, so we're going to let them play. Now, I've also totally, I've had it work all kinds of ways. I've had kids say, I want a red shirt, and 4 games into it, they haven't played, and they're like, I got to play. And so we play them. I've had kids that start out, I'm not going to redshirt, didn't play for 4 games, and said, how about if I redshirt? And so it's a decision we don't have to make immediately, but at this point, everybody's available to play.
Now that you've kind of been able to kind of focus in on a regular season opponent in Eastern Illinois, what do they do to?
Yeah, first of all, they're very sound. Coach Spoonhour, who's, got great DNA, has been around the game at a high level and coached at different, small level, whether it be a JUCO or in the OVC. But I think this Eastern Illinois has got a team that's got a chance to do well in the Ohio Valley. And when I say well, I mean very well. And that's an excellent league. Those are, the Ohio Valley has teams that win in the NCAA on a regular basis. So this is the type of opponent we love in scheduling, is that, we're playing them at home, and they're a good team. They've got a chance to beat you. Now, that scares the crap out of you, which is good if you don't mind not sleeping. It also is going to bode well for your strength of schedule and everything that goes with it in that strategy of scheduling down the road. But it's no bargain now. It's going to be a heck of a game. I think fans are going to love it.
Do the players take notice of, this team beat Illinois? They might be legitimate.
They should. If they haven't, would you remind Evan, as a senior captain here, that he should take notice of that? First of all, you only threaten them so many ways, as the coach, right? So part of coaching today is finding new and innovative ways to antagonize and, your players. And so that one is, good to come from the media if you guys can do your job for once.
Wow. Hey, Tim, have you talked urgency? Like, I know you got a bunch of new guys that you're putting together, and these guys have come from different places, and you've talked about because you've had turnover, culture wins and stuff, but about they need to get after it right now.
Yeah, I think this group, because we've got more older guys, it wasn't so long ago I had a freshman say, right now, doesn't everybody get in the NCAA tournament? It's not high school. It doesn't work that way. And so, I think this group is old enough to understand that every game really matters, that we can't have throwaway games. And we've had one 3 years in a row where, lesser opponents come into Pinnacle Bank Arena that we've paid a great deal of money to and beat us. And I used to be that guy beating teams. And I tell you what, that's great. It's not so great on the other side. So I believe we understand the urgency. This team, I believe, is competitive enough, too, to come out every night. Now, that doesn't mean we're perfect. Every team's got to figure out how to win and has to adjust to a role. Let's just think of James Palmer. Palmer's going from a guy that was, as I say, little brother. Right? I'm the youngest of 5, so I can freely say this. So little brother gets to come along if what? You don't bug us. If everything's going good, you're a little brother. Yeah, now you start bugging us, things don't go well, you're gone. He was kind of little brother at Miami. Like, you come in, you're playing good, you start turnover, bad shot, gone. And we're just done with you. Tonight you're going to play 8 minutes, right? Well, he's not that guy for us. So he's got to accept the demands and the responsibility to come with being a go-to guy. That's different. It's a different level of concentration. It's a different level of expectation of yourself. We might also have some older guys that had different roles before that were starters that are now 6 men or whatever, and they can't hang their head and gripe and groan. They've got to come out. So then you've got a guy like Isaac Copeland that says, like, geez, I feel like I'm, going crazy with all this moving and cutting. Like, no, you're doing good, but it's a different style, right? It's not space cut, Princeton style stuff. It's more wide open, and so that's, as you can see, he's struggled a little bit with the acclimation of style of play. The quicker he gets it, the better we are, right? And so it's just a little bit of everybody kind of finding their own way. And so that adjustment period certainly is crucial, but you can't quicken that process either. You've got to just accept it and stay mindful of what we're about and figure out how to win games, whether it be by 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9. And we're gonna have steps backwards, but at the same time, this team's got a bright future, and I think they can do some special things for us this year.
You been surprised at all by how efficient Palmer has been, or is that kind of what you expected?
On offense or defense? All right. Yeah, okay. Yeah, he's been excellent on offense. He really has been good. Good question. I'm glad you specified, too. Palmer's great, by the way. I love coaching him. He's just got a huge personality when he's at ease, and he's a lot of fun to be around, and he's a special player, I believe, too.
Stretch him out on minutes a little bit the other night just to get him used to playing that much?
Yeah, the second half, I just decided, all right, I'm not going to experiment with these two little freshmen anymore. I don't mean little in a bad way, but the way they played right away was, scared me. And so, I thought, okay, let's push Cope, Roby, Thomas for sure too, because I think we sat on Evan the last 9 or 10 minutes of the game. And so, that's fine that's a good spot for them to be in.
Is Evan's ankle okay?
He's fine.
Anything else for Coach?
Thanks.